And so, dear hearts, here we are, moving deeply, deeply, deeply into the darkest days of the end of the year in the Northern Hemisphere. And as we do, there are all sorts of invitations extended to us throughout all of the cultures and all of the religions to, be more open and be more receptive to the light. You know what light is and its importance in the outer world, and so do I. If I carry a light into the darkness, it disappears. I can take a small, small light into a dark, dark cave, and it brightens and lightens the whole thing. The whole idea is not to see that light as something outside of myself, and even in the symbology that we're given, that suggests a candle out there going into a cave. I'm talking about the light that you are and the light that I am. What happens when I walk into the darkness of a cave, of some great challenge or experience or condition or circumstances within or without? Is the whole thing lightened up, or does it get darker? That's the question we're invited to ponder at this time of year. This is indeed the third Sunday of Advent. It's Gautate Sunday. It's a joyous Sunday. In the darkness, we celebrate the light. It's also almost the middle of the celebration of Hanukkah, which again is the celebration of a light. And what that says to me, what Hanukkah says to me, what the story around the Maccabees and the temple and the one lamp lasting for so long beyond anyone's imagining says to me, look, a tiny little bit of light is enough. It's enough. That tiny little bit of light is the plenty. It's enough. It doesn't mean that you and I have to create a great conflagration of light. We just have to connect with the tiny spark, the tiny piece of light that we may be able to just see through all of our trials and tribulations, and that will be enough for it to grow and grow and grow and see us through the darkest moments in our lives. So the question is, how do we keep the light within us aglow, the warmth within our hearts present all the time and expanding, to the point that it doesn't stop here with me, but it extends itself out into all of life, and warms all of life, and lightens all of life? That's the question in all of our cultures right now, in all of our celebrations right now. How is that done? We can't stay all the time in a state of preparing. Some of us over-prepare all the time and never achieve what it is we're preparing for. Preparation should, I suppose, be just one shot and then get on with it. Get on with it. I mean, I can remember way back when, first time I got, a membership in a health club. Got all the gear, got all the tackle, got the outfit, did it all, went, signed up for a 3-year, membership. And I went every year, once a year, 3 times out of the 3 years. All that preparation for very little in return. So you and I have this beautiful opportunity to know ourselves as light, not as a Hindu, not as a Muslim, not as a Jew, not as a Christian, not as a whatever, but to know ourselves in solidarity as the light. All the rest is wonderful, and it's to do with a cultural thing. All of the religions are culturally based and humanly formed, and they rise up out of cultures. And it's all wonderful. I love to celebrate our variety and all the differences in the unity that we are. But all of them are saying the one thing in truth: you are the light. Be the light. The one light that shines this way over here and this way over here and this way all around in these places, but it's the one light. How enormous a thing it is to break through and see that. And see that. We've got to be able to find the light in everything that comes our way. Remember, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. And that if you can see beyond the visible, through your invisibility capacity to know something much more than any circumstance is, then you, I, everyone will be able to realize that somehow or another everything is happening the way it's supposed to happen, and it's happening because it's called into being through a collective consciousness that has brought it all about for some very good reason that is unknown to us. And that good is there in the midst of it. In the eye of the storm is the answer to it all, if those of us could be brave enough and bold enough to move through the storm until we get to the eye. And not be thrown back because it's too difficult a challenge. 13 years ago, my 29-year-old niece made her transition. Now, she'd been diagnosed with, tell you, an awesome challenge physically when she was 21, around that. And I watched her as she moved through that experience. I made sure I'd go home every year and have some time to be at home there with her. And especially when it came to the end times for her to be here with us, I was amazed at this young woman's courage and boldness and brashness, really, in the face of such a challenge. She never dignified her disease. She never dignified it with recognition. Rarely, if ever, do I, when I'm personally talking to her, remember her even talking about it until the very last visit I was there. And then that was in a whole different way that you might imagine. She was finding somehow the light within her in the dark winter of her experience. And she remained herself, strong and courageous. And she was, as I saw her to be as a 3-year-old, bold and stubborn. And it worked for her. It worked for her. She really weathered that storm exceedingly well, beyond anyone's expectation. While everybody else around her, of course, was really upset and but doing everything possible not to show it. And she boldly took that on and never flinched, ever, and remained herself. Loved her musicals. I tell you, we talked way into the night because I was jet-lagged and she was just awake in the night. And we laughed and we joked and we talked and we listened to. She loved musicals. Her favorite one was Les Mis. She knew every word and could know the words of every song of it. And she wouldn't consider herself to be anything but an ordinary, everyday person. But there was something in her. There was a firmness in her. There was a strength in her. There was a boldness in her. There was a light in her that just would not release herself to a disease or be any less than as a result of it. It's an incredible thing. A great lesson for us all. Now, that's how we can approach anything that is a distraction in a way, and that is a distraction in the sense that it will demand our every concentration and our every feeling, if we allow it to. We don't have to. And remember, in all the metaphysical books you'll ever read, they'll say, above all things else, in a challenge, do not worry, do not worry, do not worry, do not ponder, do not ponder, do not ponder the circumstance. But ponder the power of the one. And ponder that power within, knowing it is in you and it can accommodate you if you call upon it, recognize it, identify with it, and declare the word of the good that you desire in and through it. That's what staying in the light is all about. How do we keep the light burning brightly? We become prayerfulness itself. All of us have been introduced to prayer since we were knee-high to a grasshopper. All of us learned at the foot of the bed, or our mother's knee, or kneeling by the bed, or whatever. O angel of God, my guardian dear, to whom God's love commits me here. Ever this day be at my side, to light, to guard, to rule and guide. Amen. I think that was one of our very first prayers in my culture and in my tradition that we all learned. So prayer as words spoken, prayer as formula, prayer as, recited, learned prayers, or prayers just that come to our mouths and we say. And then there's prayer as aspirations, knowing universally as mantras. We say all these little prayers. One of the very first I learned was Isa vilish na ligshi uthme. Isa vilish na ligshi uthme, which means, sweet Jesus, never let me go. In kindergarten. And all our mantra sins. And then there's prayer as spiritual reading. And then there's prayer as the contemplation of what we have read. And then there's prayer as meditation, the prayer of the observer, the prayer of the witness, the prayer of the breath, being one with the breath, to the point that we're so practiced in it, we have learned to recognize the gap between the breaths, and within the gap is everything your heart could desire. Inexplicable. And then there's my favorite one, the prayer of the practice of the presence. Practicing the presence. What does it mean to practice the presence? It means to realize and recognize the light of the presence within yourself and the light of the presence within everything and everyone else that you're going to encounter. It means that you're able to go beyond appearances to the true essence of everything and everyone's being, including your own. It means to be aware all the time that you are more than you think you are. It's to be connected with the moreness of your great, good, truth self. That's the practice of the presence. Now, that prayer is continuous and ongoing and eternal. My favorite. Although I love all the others too, and they're still very much a part of my spiritual routine. Prayer is the answer always, but what is it? It's not a thing. It's you. It's me. Prayer is the candle that you are, the light that you are, all the time. Prayer is a recognition that I'm not this circumstance, I'm not this challenge, I'm not this condition, I'm not this aggravation, I'm not this mess, I'm not this whatever. But I'm more than that. This is part of the experience that I'm having on three-dimensional planet Earth as a human being. But it's not who I am. And the more I can connect with the light, with the presence, with the power, with the one in myself, the more I can do it within everything and everyone. And until I do it within myself, I will not succeed in doing it with everything and everyone. I'll always be disappointed, as will everybody else. you see. It's the most potent time of the year, really, this time of year. And it's glorious in its energy, it's glorious in its upliftment, because so many cultural religions are focused on the very same thing, the light. Kicking off with Diwali in the Indian tradition, celebration of the light. I mean, really, why do we feel so dark and depleted when we are so brilliant in the truth of our essence, when we are light? Why is it we all embrace the darkness so much and put up with it and say, well, it's just. I can remember as a very small child when we go down to visit our relatives in the country, anything outside of Dublin was country when I grew up in Ireland 200 years ago. So we go out into the farmlands and so on, the rural areas, the pastoral areas, whatever you want to call it, but it wasn't the great city, the metropolis. And we'd be coming home at night, and I can remember as a very small child, covered up in a blanket kind of with my head on my mother's lap. And the light of the car would show the trees. There were beautiful, beautiful groves of trees, and some of them cathedraled as you drive along. But they were so ominous in the night light. Ominous. They kind of looked as if they were crowding in, as if they were alive in some way. And I would hide again under the blanket as a small child. Illusion, my dear ones, we're full of it. We're just so full of illusion. And we give credence and we give life to something that is not. So many times we don't even know it, we don't even, see it. But we do. We live more the illusion on this three-dimensional planet Earth than we do live its truth. We really do. And so let us not miss the rest of the time that we have to us in this time of pondering, in this time of, coming higher and deeper up and down into the consciousness of what is real. What is real? What is real? We want to know what is real so that we can be what is real in our lives and in our living. And for that to happen, we need a kindness and we need a compassion to emanate within us and to emanate all around us. We need the kindness and we need the compassion of each other to help us to be safe enough to become all that we are. And it's all about feeling safe enough with yourself and with another and with people. And how many of us do not feel safe, and most especially at this time. But that safety is there. But one has to be very, very careful about throwing caution to the wind. Oh, I have my faith will protect me. And yet the words of Jesus, render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's. Be careful and cautious in the outer world. And to God the things that are God's. So comply with what society demands of us to keep us all safe and sound, while at the same time recognizing wherever I am always safe within yourself. Because in me there is that power, that protective power that protects me. But remember that first thing you learned as a child, as I did. I learned it from my mother at a very early stage. God helps those who help themselves, child. So what we would say in our tradition of spirituality, we'd say, pray and move your feet. By all means, proclaim your faith, but move your feet as well. Remember, you are human as well as immortal, as spirit. So you have to take care of the humanity of yourself and others, as well of the soul of ourselves and others. So it's a coin, it's one thing, but it has two sides to it. And balance is where we meet. So, my dear ones, let's take the remaining days of whatever the celebration we're celebrating, be it Hanukkah, be it Christmas, be it the winter solstice, be it whatever, and then we go straight into, Kwanzaa, which is the beginning of the New Year's celebration of light too, and the virtues that we get to ponder. But whatever you're celebrating, put yourself in the mix of it. You are the celebration. You are the light, so you are the celebration. So it's not about stuff and things. It's about roots and wings. And this is a time for you and for me to focus on the roots that we have and the wings that we have, and to make sure all is intact in that regard. Because if everything is intact in that regard, everything else out there will be intact too. So blessed be each and every one, and all of life. And blessed be the goodwill in the hearts of all. And blessed be the peace in the minds of all. And blessed be the light that shines through us all. For that's all we need to create a world that works for all. And so you are the candle in the dark. You are the light in the darkness. You are the love where there seems to be none. That's what you are. That's what we're always celebrating. That's why we get together like this, to remind ourselves of the truth that sets us free, that we are not our circumstances, we're not our names, we're not our backgrounds, we're not our successes, we're not our failures. We are so much more than that, and the moreness is what's eternal and continuous and expands and expands and expands. Human life on planet Earth is just like a very mini, mini, mini vacation that goes in a puff. Soon it'll be gone. And we'll be in a bigger expression of ourselves and on into another experience. But while we are here, why not be all that we can be as human beings? And why can't we make that wonderful, wonderful endeavor to see each other in the light? That's today's message, and you are it. The message is about you always. So, my dear ones, always remember that no matter what's going on in your life, you are a point of power, a point of light through which all radiance manifests itself through you, the point that you are, if you will be its outlet. And I'm knowing that you will, that we all will, and that good comes out of everything. And that the end of the year will bring us into something amazing in the new year. And so, for now, my dear ones, we have Reverend Catherine coming up here to share something wonderful with us.
This is the moments in our Sunday service when we like to acknowledge our mission statement, which is to honor your presence, to nurture your spirit, and to enrich the life of all we serve. And so we do that by sharing messages with you that many of our members and friends are sharing with us. As we get deeper into this period of lockdown, I find myself having less energy and enthusiasm for what I'm doing. Routine things or even more interesting things. I do appreciate having an uplifting place to go that helps me move through this and to find myself again. Thank you.
We are always grateful to have these messages shared with us. It's a beautiful thing when another soul is moved to do this, because it reminds us that we being in community together really make the difference, and that without us being in community together, people wouldn't be having these experiences, and all the good that gets done could not be done And only because we're together as a community is all that good done. And let me tell you, fantastic good is happening in your name and through your auspices and with your help this season. It really is. I want to thank everybody who has so far contributed to all of the things that we have invited you to contribute to that make a huge difference in people's lives and that keeps our doors figuratively open and helps us to do all that we can do to make the difference out there, not just amongst our own community, but the wider community, much wider community beyond. Thank you for all your support and for all of your help. We truly do feel the depth of every single gift that comes in with that kind of deep appreciation. So thank you for all your good thoughts this week, for all your good feelings this week, for all your good deeds this week. You're making the difference even though you don't even know it. As you sleep, you're making a difference. So take care of yourselves and honor yourself and love yourself as the God that lives within you, as the presence that lives within you. Remember that. Why would any one of us be less than we could be when we recognize there is the power, there is the presence, life itself within me? I carry it in my being. In my whole being, I carry its presence, its light. In my whole being, through every breath that I breathe, I'm giving birth to it. Isn't that a fantastic, awesome thought? I leave you with it today. And I want to again thank you all for tuning in, and please stay connected. And before we go, we're going to celebrate our own fullness and our own plenty, as we must always do. And we're going to take our gift. Thank you, Reverend Mary. We're going to take our gift between our amazing hands, our blessing hands. Or as my mother would say, the hands that does God's work. We're going to take our blessing gift and say, divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love. And so it is. So, before our peace song and until we meet again, we're going to have our prayer now. And we're going to all together feel the words of this prayer in our hearts. It's a beautiful prayer that's universal in its reach. And so join me in knowing this. I know divine love enfolds me. Divine light leads me. Divine life lives in me. Divine wisdom inspires me. Divine compassion expresses through me, and divine power protects me. All that I am is Spirit's life and expression. It is good, and it is very good. With deep joy and generosity filling me, I go forward now in sacred service, supporting a compassionate world that works for all. I move loving relationship with all. What I now know for myself, with blessing and in deep gratitude, I know for all life. There is only God. There is only God, there is only God. And so to all of you I say, a blessed and wonderful day, and to my family looking in from Ireland and all my friends everywhere, all over the place, and all of you, dear hearts, all over the place. From Redondo Beach, from our heart to your heart. Take care of yourself. We love you, we cherish you, and know wherever you are always safe and wrapped up in our prayerful thoughts. Mwah, 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 as the children would do when they say goodbye.